Welcome to Beauty in the Garden. I am T. If you're new here, welcome. In today's video, we are planting up onions. Onions is a great plant to plant around the borders of your beds. I absolutely definitely plant onions around mostly all of my beds because they help deter bugs. But here, this is the first time I actually went ahead and put my onions starts into plugs. So I have little plugs of onions because I wasn't ready to plant them out into the garden yet. So I plugged them into this 50 cell tray. This is an old succulent tray that I got for free at a big box store, and you could probably pick them up, just ask, and they might hand you it for free. And as well, like I said, I went ahead and popped them into cells to give myself a little head start to go ahead and have them going. So right here is the bed that I'm going to be planting up my onions. Now I am going to plant them roughly about 4 inches apart, but before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and make a trench. So simply take your shovel and make a trench. All right, so now that I have here is my trench. Make sure your trench is at least 2 inches deep so that you can place your onions in. You don't want to place them deep at all, but you want to make sure they're still covered, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. Just making sure that it's at least 2 inches. Now, some shovels actually will have the measurements on their shovel, okay? So then you can kind of measure out how deep it is. So we're good to go. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add bone meal. Bone meal is great for bud production, so we're going to add in some bone meal. Just lay it into your trench. Just like that. Okay, so bone meal is just calcium. It is actually grinded up animal bone. I know what bone meal is. It's really grinded up bones. It is what it says it is. It is literally grinded up bones, and that is just great for bud production. But we need to add just a little bit more fertilizer into this. And the reason why I'm adding into this is because this is actually a new bed. Okay, I did show you guys me adding the leaves during the fall, so this bed is pretty new, so I want to add in here some more fertilizer. Now the fertilizer that I am using is Job's Organic. This is a all-purpose fertilizer that I have in this container. Now when it comes down to nitrogen, we want to make sure that we give our onions a good feeding, because actually nitrogen is going to help you get that big bulb at first, okay? So you want to make sure that you get those leaves growing, because that's going to determine how many leaves, basically how big your onion is going to be. So we're going to make sure that we get that leaf production going. So I have here is an all-purpose fertilizer that is great for my plants, so I'm going to add in here some Job's Organic. Now Job's Organic is a poultry manure. All right, so we lay down our poultry manure. The next thing is to make sure that we go ahead and toss our soil. We want to give it a good little stir, okay? Because we don't want to burn the roots of our plants. Make sure we get our trench back. And now I'm going to pop out my onions. Now with our onions, we want to make sure that we do space them out at least 4 to 6 inches. As you guys can see, it's time for me to get them out of here. I have roots coming out of the bottom of my tray. So let's go ahead and pop them out. I actually like that because I literally could just pop them out and place them. Teasing the roots. Look at that. Look at that root system. Almost a little too late, almost root bound them. But look at that. All right, so now that we have planted up our onions, let's go ahead and backfill them with the soil. Now I am going to be planting the rest of the onions in the back garden. I do have a lot of room back there. I haven't even started my back garden. The whole entire back garden, there is nothing back there. I literally have to weed first and everything. I haven't even touched it really. I went ahead and removed all the plants from the winter, and I haven't did anything to that back garden. And I'm gonna be jumping into that very, very soon and knocking all of this out. Guys, I'm gonna be knocking out a lot, and probably in a week, everything will be planted. And I mean everything. So I got a lot of work to do. My plate is full, but we're gonna get it done. All right, so right now we already have our onions planted. The next step to do is to make sure that you give it a fertilizer, a straight feed, meaning I like to give it fish emulsion, which feeds my plants right away. So after I have done what I've done by planting them as plants, I want to give them another boost, and that boost is water soluble. Now what you saw me put down recently, just now, is a granulate. It breaks down over time, so this will break down over time, and I really want them to keep going. So what I do is I give them fish fertilizer. So I'll do 2 tablespoons of fish emulsion, whatever fish emulsion that you would like to use. I like to do 2 tablespoons. Yeah, 2 tablespoons per 2 gallons. So 1 tablespoon per gallon. All right, get this over here. Now I do recommend that you do not get this on your hands. I promise you, just do not do it. Go ahead and stir it in. It does not smell good. I promise you it does not. If you don't like the smell of really stinky stuff, then you might need to go with a synthetic fertilizer. But organic fertilizers, you guys, do not smell good at all. It has an odor, okay? All right, so we have already mixed that, and now we're gonna go ahead and water it in. Now I am using rainwater here, and I'm gonna water my onions in. Make sure that you water it thoroughly, especially now that we have put down so much fertilizer. We want it to break down properly, so make sure that you do water it. I definitely just use a all-purpose fertilizer in here, and as well bone meal, and a water soluble, which feeding the plants right now. The bone meal and the Job's organic poultry manure is not going to break down quickly, so it will break down over time. So we want to still give it a good feeding with the fish emulsion, so that your plants will get a good start and don't have transplant shock. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed my video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I do upload a video. And like I always tell you guys, there's beauty in everyone's garden. And bye bye for now. Bye bye, you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.